This is Lisa from Mobile Tech Review, and hey, for a change, you get to see all of me instead of just my talking head. Anyway, that's because we're doing Amazon Prime TV today. It's a $99 box. Comes with this little, looks like a designer chocolate bar remote control, and it's the latest little kind of set-top box for your TV. It competes with Apple TV and Roku, and we're going to look at it now. So this is what the box looks like. It, typical kind of nice-looking box. Amazon's getting a little jazzy these days, but more importantly, this is what the actual Amazon TV box looks like. Pretty small, about the size of 2 decks of cards. Pretty light. Not that it matters, you're not going to be carrying this thing around, are you? And I already showed you the remote, but here's a closer look at it. Notice that it has a little voice control button. If you're searching through Amazon services, say Amazon Prime Video, you can use that, which is a lot less painful than using the on-screen keyboard that you control using the D-pad on the remote. You know what that's like, whether you have a PlayStation or anything like that. Unless you have a USB keyboard, it's not much fun. We've got play buttons, we've got fast forward, rewind, back, and we have a home button there. So all the basics. Kind of feels nice in the hands. It's a soft touch remote, and the whole top end is the transmitter window here, and it connects via Bluetooth to the box itself. But what about if you would like to use a keyboard? Happily, this has a USB port on the back, and in fact, I have been using it with this portable USB keyboard that we have right here. The box on the back also has a full-size HDMI port, which we have plugged right into the TV. It has optical audio for high-quality audio. We have that plugged into our little AV receiver here below the TV. And we have a power jack as well. And there's also Ethernet for those of you who have a thoroughly wired home. So what's inside the $99 black box? Basically, it's an Android smartphone, 1.7 gigahertz quad-core Qualcomm Snapdragon 600 CPU, 2 gigs of DDR2 RAM, 8 gigs of storage. Mostly going to use that to put games because of the videos they all stream. HDMI, optical on the back, Ethernet as well. The remote uses Bluetooth, 2 AAA batteries included in the box. And here's the schematic. All right, so now we're going to take a look at the content and services that are available on the box. All right, now we're actually going to start with games. That's different, isn't it, right? You're supposed to be watching TV and movies on this thing. Well, Amazon makes a big deal of the fact that you can actually play games. Here's the thing. Some people are saying, oh my God, it's going to take on the Xbox and the PlayStation. Not really going to happen. Those are very high quality, high production, and also very expensive games that work very well with controllers. What we have here is a selection of Android games. Those of you who have, an Amazon Kindle Fire HDX tablet, an Android tablet, Android smartphone, you know what the games are like. They're fun, they're nice, they're not the same thing as playing an Xbox or a PlayStation 3 or 4 game, are they? And you also know, for those of you who are a little more adventurous and you've tried using controllers, say Bluetooth controllers, that support in games is not always real strong. There's some games that support it, there's some that don't. In fact, Asphalt 8 we're going to test out, and that's supposed to support the controller. Now, Amazon sells their own Bluetooth controller. It's $40. There's a $40 accessory for your $99 TV box. We're going to use the GameStop wireless Bluetooth controller right here, and it works pretty well, except for none of the buttons do OK and select on it, I noticed. So you got to use the remote for that. You can see here the games that we've downloaded: The Walking Dead, Riptide, GP2, Asphalt Airborne. Pretty much everything that you see available for a Kindle Fire tablet is going to be here. It's the same app store as on the Kindle Fire. So Amazon would love you, obviously, to buy into the ecosystem and enjoy your games both places. And by the way, you can actually use the Fire TV box to connect to your Kindle Fire HDX tablet. It does screen mirroring, so you can do wireless screen mirroring, but probably you're not going to want to do that because you can get all the same content on your Kindle Fire TV unit anyway. But let's give Asphalt 8 a try. And it's pretty easy to navigate the menus using this remote. It's really well done. It's a very simple UI right here. And remember, this is powered by the Snapdragon 600 quad-core 1.7 gigahertz CPU. Amazon calls that dedicated graphics. Well, that's kind of not really. It's the usual Adreno 320 graphics that's paired with a Snapdragon chip. They're just trying to make it sound like a gaming PC. It ain't. But it's certainly powerful enough to handle this game. It's kind of like, similar to what you had in the original HTC One in terms of horsepower. Not quite as powerful as the Kindle Fire HDX tablet, which has the Snapdragon 800. And obviously the Fire TV is powerful enough to handle it. Now, those of you who are forward thinking on these things say, hey, this is not the latest, greatest Snapdragon 800, 801, or Tegra 4, and that's true. So will this be great for games 2 years from now? It might feel a little slow in 2 years, but at 99 bucks, you'll probably upgrade anyway by then. So there's some gaming action. Asphalt 8 playing on the Kindle Fire TV. And again, this can play Android games, any of the ones that are available on the Amazon App Store. All right, now let's look at some Amazon Prime content. For those of you who are unaware of Amazon Prime content, you're probably not even interested in this box, are you? If you're a Prime customer, not only do you get discounted home delivery, but you get to stream movies and TV shows from Amazon Prime for free. It's sort of like Netflix, not as much of a selection. Speaking of Netflix, well, Amazon just announced that they are now the #3 streaming provider, passing Apple, which is pretty interesting, and Apple TV, and also Hulu Plus. We still have Netflix at the top, though. And YouTube. Anyway, let's look at the TV. So here on the home screen, obviously I can jump to things I've been watching recently, but let's say I just want to go and browse some movies. There it is. And here's the thing about this. For those of you who are Amazon Prime customers and you've used, say, a smart Blu-ray player or a smart TV player, you know how, generally speaking, the UI is pretty painful. This is something more like a Kindle Fire UI, or a Kindle Fire tablet, that is. It's a bit easier to use. And then the neat thing is, say I want to search, I'm going to press the voice button and talk to the remote. Now, you don't actually have to go, "Hi, I'm a geek talking to the remote." Just hold it at a natural length like that. And so now I'm going to tell it what movie I want to see. I'm going to hold down the voice button and say, "Mission Impossible." Well, yeah, the second one did it, so that's good. And there it is. So I can add to the watch list or watch the trailer. This one here is available on Prime, so let's watch it now and see how it looks. And of course, you can buy off of Amazon, that whole deal. If you're an Amazon customer, you know that. Why you want to buy something you can stream it anytime you want, I'm not really sure, but you can if you want to. So there it is, and it looks pretty sharp and pretty nice, and I'm going to pause it right there. You can actually pause the movie. So pretty sharp, pretty nice, again, on our full HD 1080p TV here, 47 inches, and that's as much as we can show you probably before the automated DRM police say, "Oh my God, that's a movie." By the way, this can output 5.1 Dolby Digital Plus audio, and if you're using HDMI, you can do 7.1 over HDMI, and of course, good old-fashioned stereo, so it depends on what content you're watching. So what if you're not an Amazon customer? What if, well, you're probably not going to buy this, right? But in addition to Amazon, quite a few of us are, well, using, for example, Netflix, Hulu Plus, Crackle. You get the idea there. ESPN, watch ESPN, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Vivo. There is no HBO Go. Boo-hoo. Will they add it? Maybe they will. I don't know. So most of these boxes, they add more content, more channels as they go on. And you can visit Amazon's website to see the full list of all the shows. We do have Showtime Anywhere also available. That one's pretty popular. Now let's check out Netflix. So here we are in the Netflix UI. Now Netflix is something that's usually pretty well handled on PlayStation 3, 4, smart Blu-ray players, smart TVs, that kind of thing. So it's fine. It works. Now the voice command's not going to work in here. Scrolling, using the remote up and down with the D-pad, you get the idea. Well, let's test out a little Mad Men to see how that goes.
Looks pretty big already.
It's going to have to buffer up some.
The way other television departments have this set up, and I've checked on this, there should be a dedicated man for broadcast operations. And what is he dedicated to? Reading script.
And again, before the DRM police catch us, it hasn't buffered up fully. It will get sharper than this. I actually find that Amazon Prime looks a little better than Netflix on this. Again, you can't use the voice control to search here. It's not impossible, but right now, these apps are still Android apps, basically, which you're looking at right here. So if Netflix wants to develop an app that's tailored to the Kindle Fire TV, they can, and they can make it even better in terms of UI. Likewise for Hulu Plus. And everything is about the cloud these days. So Amazon Cloud Services we have here, you can access your photos and your videos if you're storing them on Amazon's Cloud Drive. And you can see we've uploaded a couple of photos that are up on the screen too. And by the way, anything that you have purchased from Amazon, the way of videos, also shows up in your video library. But let's take a look at some photos. It's a pleasant presentation. And we can use that as the screensaver. The default screensaver is actually very pretty. They have some lovely photos that act as the screensaver before the box actually completely goes to sleep. We'll go through and try out the slideshow function. Takes just a second there before it fully loads that JPEG. You can see these are about 2,000 pixels wide. Oh, that's looking pretty good. That's nice looking. Of course, this will depend more on your TV than anything else. Some of these are up to 4,000 pixels across, these images, so a Snapdragon 600 can handle that no problem whatsoever. These were mostly taken with full-frame SLR cameras, so they're pretty sharp, so even when you blow them up this big, they're going to look pretty nice. Aw, cute kitty. So you can have your own customized screensaver if you want for when the thing goes to sleep, or you can entertain your friends and family with slideshows. We all know how that's so much fun. And vacation videos too, don't forget those. And whatever you're doing, you don't have to actually hit the back button to get to the home thing. You can, home screen here, you can just hit the home button on the remote, thankfully. So again, usability, good. Amazon's good at usability. So we have help over here. There's an introductory video that tells you how to use the thing and all that sort of thing. Pretty useful, access to your account. Second screen if you want to have a Kindle Fire HDX mirrored onto this device. Applications. Parental controls. We got free time here. So this is something that sets this box apart from some of the others. Amazon actually has a really good setup for creating sandbox areas for your kids. If you just want them to have access to certain content, you can do that here. So it's got a leg up on some of the other boxes where your kids can get into all sorts of wild and crazy trouble. Controller here, we can add Bluetooth controllers. That's how I added our GameStop Bluetooth controller and some more system settings. Control your screensaver, your Wi-Fi access point. You can turn quiet time on and off. I don't think that's so necessary for something like this, but app data usage, developer options, display scaling, kind of audio out that you want, your time zone. So pretty limited stuff right there. So it wouldn't be an experience without YouTube, right? We actually had to use a search function to find a YouTube app. It wasn't in the list of apps. So if you get this and there's something that you're looking for that you don't see in the list, do try out the search function. It works. So here we are in the YouTube app, which is a real attractive presentation right there. So we can search. We can sign into our account, which is pretty cool right there. Trending, music, games. You see all this kind of stuff for people who want to browse it like it was TV. We're going to look for our wonderful channel. Alright, so here we are, and we finally navigated to our channel. Let me say that the YouTube app is the only thing I really don't like here. It might look pretty when you first launch it, but everywhere else I've used our USB keyboard and it just works for text entry fields. Here it would not do that. I actually had to use the little remote D-pad and the on-screen letter selector. That's just torture. Not so great. It's also a little slow and jerky as you're browsing through sections on this YouTube app, so hopefully Amazon will do some work on this. Anyway, let's test out one of our videos and see how they play. And again, we use the remote. We'll check out the ThinkPad X1 Carbon. Aha, this is our own channel. We can play as much of this as we want without worrying about the DRM cops. This is Lisa from Mobile Tech Review, and finally,
what mediocre quality.
Asking for this. We're going to look at the 2014 refresh of the Lenovo X1 Carbon. This is a ThinkPad product. The thinnest,
buffers up and gets better.
3 pounds or less. Haswell inside. We're going to look at it now. Well, thanks for your patience, everybody. I know there were a lot of you asking for the review of this, and Lenovo took a while getting the review units out. Well, I'm not so impressed with the quality of YouTube streaming video. Granted, YouTube is not the highest quality streaming content. Our videos are full 1080p, but they're not really, after YouTube mangles them so great for 47 inches, they're better, say, for your laptop display or your desktop display, and certainly your phone and your tablet. But I have seen better implementations of YouTube in terms of quality. So that's the Amazon Kindle Fire TV right here, $99, like pretty much all of these things. Roku costs that, Apple TV costs that, you get the idea. And it's going to make the most sense, obviously, if you're an Amazon Prime customer, because it has a very nice UI for actually using that. And if you have stuff stored on Amazon Cloud Drive, too, it can be nice, including videos and photos, that sort of thing. one thing I can say is if you're thinking about this or Apple TV, with Apple TV, you're not going to get Amazon Prime Video. Obviously, you can only get Apple TV on an Apple TV product. So if you're wed to that ecosystem, it's not going to work so much. If you're a real channel junkie, Roku 3 still has like 100 channels, the most channels of any of these more mainstream boxes that you can buy to hook up to your TV. I'm Lisa from Mobile Tech Review. Be sure to visit our website for the full written review, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.